I can't be the only person who was born in the late 90s slash early 2000s and still had a really great Chuck Jones inspired upbringing and had the opportunity to watch so many great cartoons as a kid. I feel like Chuck Jones' work gets attention in such an interesting way. We have specific characters and specific scenarios that are very, very famous, as you would expect, as this person has been hailed as the father of animation. You can see so much of his impact on everyday animation and big studio animation that we see that is, you know, practically $1 billion setup. But I grew up watching a TV short called Rikki, Tikki, Tavi, which is of course based upon the story from the Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. It was created in the 70s, and it has a fantastic Orson Welles narration, and the acting and animation is so unique, so fun. I watched it on a VCR and would replay it over and over and over again as a kid, and I adored it and loved it. And I haven't really met anyone else who's in my age group, at least, that's had the opportunity to watch it. And I kind of wanted to talk about it because I thought it's so entertaining, and I feel like it's actually aged really well. This story is about a mongoose who is rescued by a family, and he starts protecting them from the snakes in the area. And the snakes essentially want to kill humans and get rid of them from their house. Wow, talking about this sounds very dark now, but it was cool at the time. I always really liked it. And Rikki Tikki Tavi is the name of this mongoose, and he protects his family. And watching this as a kid, the mongoose, the yellow mongoose particularly, became my favorite animal for a really long time until I became obsessed with octopuses, in which case now I have a tier list of octopuses, which are my favorite animals. I would love to make a video on that at some point, actually. But there are actually some really spectacular videos of literally just mongoose, different species of mongoose, all kicking ass against like some of the most deadly and most venomous snakes that exist, and how they like were able to evolve to fight them is so cool and so interesting. And for the first probably 15 years of my life, the mongoose was my favorite animal. And I don't know, I just kind of wanted to start a discussion on it because I feel like not very many people, at least in my age group, have talked about Rikki Tikki Tavi as a story. I actually haven't read The Jungle Book, and that is on my list to read. I have another Rudyard Kipling book in my library here. I think it is, yeah, The Man Who Would Be King, which is not in the realm of like what the popularity of The Jungle Book was, and still is. But it was still a relatively popular story, if I remember correctly. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to see, you know, like what age groups probably watched Rikki Tikki Tavi. You know, was it on TV when you were a kid? For me, we just had tapes, so that was what we watched. But I didn't really watch much live TV growing up. We had copies of almost everything that we watched, even like the Barbie movies and like VeggieTales and stuff like that. Yeah, that was mostly my experience growing up. The closest thing to TV we ever had was going to other people's houses, and like occasionally we would try to watch something, but we either usually didn't like it or like it was very specific episodes of things that we liked. Like if there wasn't a specific the Doodle Bob episode of SpongeBob playing, I didn't want to watch it. But I did like Hannah Montana. I remember my parents didn't really like us watching Nickelodeon shows because they thought we got sassy after we watched them. But yeah, I would never have a complaint about Rikki Tikki Tavi. That was so good. And I don't know, I just don't know enough other people who have enjoyed it, and maybe it's just because I'm not in the right age group. But my dad was always like a huge enjoyer of The Jungle Book, especially the animated movie. He loved it, and for good reason. It's one of the best animated movies ever. Yeah, Rikki Tikki Tavi kind of falling under that umbrella makes a lot of sense to me, at least. I don't know, I'm just kind of cranking out a video right now because I forgot to make one yesterday, and I can't sleep right now because I just got home from this big kind of rock show, and the adrenaline is still pumping, and it's not time for sleep yet. I'm still kind of dwindling down from the day, which is why I'm wearing makeup, which I don't usually. It was just for funsies for today. I would love feedback on if you watched Rikki Tikki Tavi as a kid, or if you've watched it as an adult and if you think it aged well, stuff like that. I always thought it aged really well. I feel like if we're going to talk about colonialism, I think it's bad to reject the existence of it. I think ignoring that aspect of history is harmful. So I don't really have a problem with it being depicted in this. It's not necessarily a positive or negative depiction. It's just kind of like, this is the way that it happened for a while. It didn't even talk about British colonialism specifically. It just kind of like had a white British family living in India, which like happened. So like, I don't really see the issue with it. I mean, I can see why people might, but I mean, it could be interesting if it was written to just be an Indian family. I don't think that would be bad. But yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's just like a cool kind of animal thing where I feel like most kids who watch it don't know what a mongoose is and don't understand, you know, the evolutionary aspect to it. And so maybe watching this would make them more interested, like me. So maybe that. I'm just kind of rambling right now. Rudyard Kipling kind of sucked, but Chuck Jones was pretty cool. Very cool stories. Very cool gift that he gave animation and the medium and storytelling overall. I feel like a lot of the time people are hailed for good reason for that. It's very cool. I'm a Rikki Tikki Tavi enjoyer. I'm a Jungle Book enjoyer. I want to find other Rikki Tikki Tavi enjoyers because there are plenty of Jungle Book enjoyers, but I don't really know about the existence of the Rikki Tikki Tavi enjoyer. Like people don't know. People don't appreciate. So this is a call to attention, all Rikki Tikki Tavi enjoyers. Come talk to me in the comments of my video so we can enjoy Rikki Tikki Tavi together.